Good afternoon to all respected dignitaries, esteemed professionals, members, and participants joining us from across the country. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all to today's webinar on the theme Exploring Professional Opportunities in GST Pathways for Growth. GST has transformed the indirect tax landscape of India and has opened tremendous professional opportunities for chartered accountants, whether it is advisory, litigation, compliance, or strategic tax planning. So, today's session is even more special as we celebrate the spirit of upcoming International Women's Day, recognizing the remarkable contributions of women professionals in shaping our profession. And today we are proud to see women professionals leading the way in the GST domain. Before we begin the panel discussion, it is my privilege to invite a respected leader of a profession, uh, CA Rajendra Kumar P. Sir. I invite you, sir, to deliver the opening remarks.
Thank you, Sapna Lunawatji. Very esteemed, my dear friend, and the newly appointed chairman for the council year 2026-27, a person whose name is today synonym for GST as well as the artificial intelligence. The original intelligence possessing chairman, CA Umesh Sharmaji. In fact, many of you women will know Umesh Sharmaji as a person who spearheaded the movement of AI in ICA last year. It has created such an impact that our immediate past President Charanjot Singh Nanda, going out of the way and requesting the President to take charge of the committee so that it can be spearheaded in a proper manner, because Umesh Sharmaji was more required in GST. So his guidance, his vision, and his interest in the subject is what is known to all of us in GST. What many of us do not know, that he is a prolific author and a person who has authored the largest number of columns in a single newspaper and thus made it to the Guinness Book of World Records. So gracious and esteemed ladies who I'm sorry, I was traveling, so some disturbance may be there. The gracious and esteemed ladies who are forming part of this particular program today, who have joined us from far and wide. On the screens, you see Anchal Kapoor with her iPhone, then CA Sarada and CA Sapna Lunawat. It's an all team today that the chairman Umesh Sharma has assembled to focus on a very important day which is celebrated as International Women's Day. In fact, according to me, every day is a Women's Day. On Women's Day, men celebrate. On Women's Day, men celebrate so that it is Women's Day and they'll be busy with their core activities and we'll be almost go unnoticed and unseen. Hence, it is certainly a day to celebrate the active participation of women. The ICAI's membership today, as the convener of the Members and Student Services Directorate, I can say 30% of ICAI's membership is women, and it continues to increase. The program on GST, which is going to commence with two very important experts, Anchal Kapoor and Sarada. Anchal Kapoor is also an advocate, and Sarada advocates the GST in the profession. Friends, both these two ladies have carved a niche for themselves in this subject. They are known today in the country. I must tell you this. They are known today in the country. And that is the reason why we see a large number of women who have joined today for this program. Sapna Lunawat, a very young chartered accountant. That's what she looks like. But then she possesses brilliance of a senior because she works directly under the tutorship and under the very positive guidance of CA Umesh Sharma. I'm immensely
Very
pleased
good.
today to address you as the Vice Chairman of this committee and working under the direction, guidance, support with vision personified Chairman CEO Umesh Sharma ji. Thank you, Sapna Lunawat ji, for giving me this wonderful opportunity and being part of this very wonderful program. The first, as I can see, in the series of CEO Umesh Sharma ji's chairmanship. Thank you very much. Over to you.
Thank you, sir. Sir, your motivating words have set a tone for today's session. And dear friends, dear members, after hearing these motivating words from our Vice Chairman of GST and Indirect Tax Committee, Chairman, now it is my privilege to invite a personality who is widely respected and valued in our profession, C. Umesh Sharma, sir, who is a Central Council member and chairman of the GST and Indirect Tax Committee of ICI, and one of the most respected voices in taxation, as Sir rightly said. Education and professional development. He's a renowned speaker, author, and a mentor to thousands of chartered accountants across the country. He's also the author of the popular Karniti series, inspired by the timeless wisdom of Lord Krishna and Arjun. And this is the reason we members fondly refer to him as the Shri Krishna of a profession. As Chanakya said, a true mentor shows the path even in the most complex situations. So, for many of us, you have truly been that guiding force. With great respect, I request you, C. Umesh Sharma sir, Chairman of GST and Indirect Tax Committee, to kindly deliver the welcome address. Over to you, sir.
Thank, thank you, Sapna. And Sapna is closely associated with us, so she speak 2 3 words extra about me. I am not like that. I am still learning GST, and I am still learning AI, and we all are part of the same profession. I am proud of my profession. So thank you, Sapna, for the opening words. And friends, it's our passionate chairman, RK sir, whose dream I am carrying on forward. He is our mentor. He is our guiding force in GST committee from last uh, 4 years. I am closely working with GST committee, and now this time our passionate chairman has shown confidence in me, and now given me responsibility of a chairmanship of this vibrant committee, GST committee. And the level of our committee is such that government recognize the contribution of ICI. Last year we had GST symposium under chairmanship of RK sir, and it was a record breaking participation. From that day, now whenever there is a reference of CBIC or any representation, ICI is on the forefront. So with this legacy, with the help of our passionate chairman RK sir, we are carrying on this year forward. So I am very fortunate and thankful to God that RK sir is there with us to guide, to motivate, and also to regulate. जैसे कहते हैं ना कि बड़े बड़े घर में रहते हैं तभी घर का घरपन रहता है, तो हमारे RK सर की वजह से हमारी GST कमेटी और भी सुचारू रूप से काम करेगी. So this is the first webinar, and it coincide with the International Women's Day. I am thankful to Sharda Ma and Achal who are there, and also to Sapna who is coordinating, and also from our committee, a woman is chairing the secretary, is Smita ma'am, and she has been supported by another, our Punjabi hard woman, in Preet. She is also there today online, and she is working very hard for this webinar series. So thanks to Smita, thank ma'am to Inpreet. Then there is a Tanya, then there is a Vinny ma'am. So friends, we have lot of women representation in our committee working, and they are leading the show. As such, me and RK sir are guiding, but the show is run by all women in our GST and indirect tax committee. Friends, this year we will be launching soon competition of book writing on the various sectors of GST, means various sectors of industry and their impact in this GST. So the competition will be open up soon. So I will request those who wish to write, because in the world there are three type of people: some are writers, some are speakers, some are listeners. So if you are willing to write, contribute, please join this book writing competition in GST committee. Then this year we are also looking forward for the GST tribunal working, going live across India. So to connect with these GST tribunal members, have an outreach program, and to develop an ecosystem, we will be having a series of program this year. Further, our regular things are happening yesterday and today. There is a GST national conference going on in Mumbai. I was there yesterday. RK sir were also there, and there we have met prolific speakers, and we are getting a good response from the participants. So my humble request to all of you is that to join the WhatsApp channel of our committee, to join our programs as a speaker, as a writer, whatever way you want to contribute for development of ICI, we are open. Give your suggestions, give your comments, give your remarks to us, and we will take it forward. So with these words, happy Women's Day to all of you, happy learning to all of you, and thanks Sapna for moderating. Thanks Achal, and thanks Sharda ma'am and RK sir. Over to you, Sapna.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for your warm and encouraging words. I hope many of the members would come forward. As you said rightly, some are listeners, some are speakers, and some are writers. So maybe we get a good number of members for writing a book as well. Now let's start with the panel discussion. Before that, it's my absolute pleasure to introduce the two distinguished panelists who will be sharing their journeys, insights, and experiences with us today. Both of them are remarkable professionals and inspiring women leaders in the field of GST. As we celebrate women's achievements this week, a beautiful thought comes to my mind: empowered women empower the world. And today we are fortunate to have two such empowered professionals with us. Introducing our first panelist, CA Achal Kapoor ma'am. Our first panelist is a fellow chartered accountant, law graduate, and a forensic accountant certified professional, and a graduate gold medalist with more than 15 years of experience in GST and indirect taxes. She is a renowned national speaker on GST, having delivered over 1,000 seminars and webinars across India. She is a faculty at NACIN, that is the National Academy of Customs, Indirect Taxes and Narcotics, trainer for Central GST and Punjab State GST officers, and an approved faculty of ICI. She currently serves as co-opted member of National Indirect Tax Committee of ICI and convener of National Indirect Tax GST Committee of AIFTP. She has received prestigious recognitions including AIFTP Presidential Award in 2021 and 22-23, Best Upcoming Speaker Award by AIFTP, and an exemplary contribution to the profession award by NIRC of ICI. Academically, she is also a rank holder with All India third rank in CAPE1 and second rank in Northern India. Ma'am, we are delighted to have you with us today. Our second speaker, I would introduce our second speaker. Our second distinguished panelist is CA Sharda Hariharan, a chartered accountant specialized in goods and service tax and indirect taxation. She is also the co-founder of GGSH and Company LLP Chennai. She began her professional journey with KPMG in audit and assurance, and later held key roles in finance and taxation in large-scale industries. She now heads a comprehensive indirect tax practice covering GST advisory, litigation, compliance, audits, transaction structuring, and legal opinions for industries including marine exports, automobile, IT, FMCG, real estate, hospitality, and healthcare. She has extensive expertise in GST refunds and foreign trade policy export incentives. And she has successfully helped businesses secure over rupees 100 crores in GST refunds and dispute savings. She is also an author of and reviewer of several ICI GST publications and is widely recognized through her knowledge sharing initiative GST with Sharda in shorts. Ma'am, it's a pleasure to have you with us today. Let us now move to the most awaited
Thank
part.
you, Sapna. Thanks for the warm introduction.
Yes, ma'am. Very welcome.
Welcome.
Both of the panelists, very welcome to both of you, ma'am. And let us now move to the most awaited part of today's session, that is the panel discussion. So, my first question would be to CA Achal, ma'am. Ma'am, to begin the discussion, it would be wonderful for our participants to hear about your professional journey. Could you please share where you completed your articleship, how your career began, whether through job or practice, and who were the mentors who shaped your journey in GST?
Sapna, first of all, thank you so much and for beautifully reading the profiles and for hosting this program. And it's my pleasure to be part of this program, especially sharing the dice with Shraddha ji, whom I know before this also. And thank you, Umesh sir. Congratulations on being taken up as chairman and as our evergreen chair, Rajendra sir. So now coming to your question, Sapna. First of all, happy Women's Day in advance to
Thank you.
every woman. And as sir said, yes, every day is a Women's Day. So the thing comes, you asked me about my professional journey.
Yes, ma'am.
So of course, I used to be good at the academics, but at the same time, I actually wanted to become a doctor. Let me start it with. But I overheard somebody saying that, okay, you have to spend a lots of money. And I always hesitated in asking money to my parents, may it be for any reasons. So I thought, ki nahi, I cannot be a doctor that ways. And I entered the line of commerce. And what else then be a better career than chartered accountant when you enter this line. So in this way, the chartered accountancy career I opted for, of course, by choice, and I am very happy in pursuing the same. Now talking about my articleship, I do not belong to a very big city or the metro city. I hail from a small area, Amritsar. But I do not find, I consider it as a blessing in disguise because when you are hailing from a town which you feel like you might be exploring all the opportunities or not, ask you to look for certain opportunities being in your town when you can connect with everyone, the people
Right.
who belong to tier 1 cities. So that enhanced me ki, okay, I should be going ahead and with all these things by connecting to people. And the change that was brought in my life was during the corona period. And I say everyone that whenever you feel like that the opportunity is there, instead of utilize, when you feel that there is time with you, so utilize that opportunity. And I used it by entering into the speaker phase in the corona period itself. And what else could be a better option than GST, which is an evolving law, to come into this. So
Right.
and being a CA student, I was always like you should do the work with full dedication. So this was my training and my journey. I started as a tax practitioner as the old core field area, but because I like talking, I like speaking to people, I chose to be an orator and choose the subject GST.
Oh, that's great, ma'am. That is really truly inspiring. I believe many young professionals attending today would find your journey extremely motivating and would really learn things from you. Ma'am, building on that experience, what inspired you to choose GST as your core area of specialization? As you said, it was the Corona period and you thought it was an evolving subject, evolving law. Do you believe GST offers long term professional opportunities for upcoming professionals as well?
Sapna, if you say me that why I chose GST, I think so. I didn't choose GST. It's the GST who chose me,
Oh,
basically, actually.
yeah.
So I told you that I loved exploring. I never wanted to hear this that I am coming from a not from the tier one or tier two cities. I am coming from a small town. So that gave me an edge. My husband, he was already practicing. Rather, we were practicing in the direct taxes when GST, the new law came into being. So I could see the opportunity in it. And I had always a feeling of this thing that I am not only Mrs. Rohit Kapoor. This is what I always say. I wanted to be known with the name CA Anchal Kapoor. So that gave me an edge that okay, I should do something on my own because Rohit was busy in handling the litigation practice of income tax. I could grab that opportunity to enter into the indirect tax field and start the new line in our office. So this is how the GST came into being, and in around 2015, I started getting involved in GST. Before it was on 2017. In 2017, that it actually became a law. So I started it around 2015, and then find that this is an area which is full of explorations. You are seeing its journey, how a thing is getting developed. So that made me excited about it, and I started pursuing GST. Now, coming to your question, that what are the opportunities in this area? I always say, or whenever we sit together to Rohit also, that uh, एक गुड़ा हुआ law है. If I say that in Punjabi, or if I say it's a law, income tax is a law which is already matured. So, and GST is a law which is still a child. So you are getting an opportunity to see the evolvement of that law. You are able to see that how that law is evolving, what are the changes, what are the causes, what are the things. So any professional, any young professional, and you will must have noticed lots of young professionals have come forward in GST stream. That is because of the reason that people find opportunities in it. And as now the tribunal is going to start, so definitely even in the litigation field, I see lots of opportunities coming up. It is going to start. If you pursue it from right from the beginning, of course, that gives you an extra edge.
Yes, ma'am. Right, ma'am. Very correctly said, ma'am. Ma'am, it is said that excellence happens not by accident, it's a process. And I think hearing you, I think your journey reflects that very well, ma'am. Ma'am, my next question would be to Sharda, ma'am. Uh, Ma'am, with this perspective, I would like to ask you, like GST practice today offers multiple avenues for specialization. So, in your experience, what are the most promising areas of specialization in GST today, such as litigation, advisory, compliance, or representation? As we have heard this from Achal, ma'am. So, ma'am, yours view as well.
A very happy afternoon. And first of all, thanks to IDTC and ICA for giving me this opportunity to be here amongst the two wonderful women. And it's great to see how this panel has been, designed, one from South, one from North, and one from the mid of the two. I think that way it's a beautiful panel to be here representing fairly about, where we are heading towards as a nation, isn't it? So, and thank you personally to RK sir and our chairman sir for having me here. And to come back to your specific question, Sapna. See, this is purely a choice. You need to make a very wise choice. The question that comes even before this is that how do you want to build the practice? Is it something where you want to build it as a practice or you want to build it as an organization which is practicing? So first of all, let's start the question from here. Okay. So let's say if my idea is I want to keep it as, Sharda's practice of indirect taxation, then it's very important as to what I need to choose. Probably I can choose litigation is the only core area that I would be handling. Okay. But fundamentally, if the idea is to give the services in a 360-degree for clients, supporting them 360-degree when it comes to indirect taxation, and if the idea of your practice is to build it as an organization, mentor people, create more opportunities, create more leaders in the organization. If that is the kind of perspective, then I don't think choosing only one as area of expertise within GST would be a workable option. The reason being, today I'll say this way. See, the opportunities are plenty. Correct.
Yes,
For
ma'am.
anything and everything, the opportunities are plenty. The
Hmm.
demand is also on higher side and the supply is also on the higher side. But survival of the fittest, as simple as that. So it's all about us as to how we are going to demonstrate that we are the best in our own forte. So for
Right.
that, the core expertise or the core niche is required.
Hmm.
Let's say, for example, GST could be an area of expertise, or GST compliances could be an area of expertise, or GST litigation could be an area of expertise. In fact, if you see, classification alone could be an area of expertise. Correct. So it is not a question of what is the domain expertise that you want to, shine in. It is more to do with what is your larger purpose. Okay. And I would say if somebody is choosing to keep GST within a framework as their area of niche, that is also a good answer. The reason being today clients are looking for 360-degree solution. Let's look at it broadly in three categories. Okay. Compliance, advisory, and litigation. Tell me one thing, is it possible to handle one without the other, without the knowledge on the other?
Absolutely
Absolutely
not,
not.
ma'am.
Correct. So unless you understand how your GST portal works, how your compliances work, because today all the litigations are originating only through the portal, originating only through the self compliances. So unless you understand how the compliance works, it is impossible for you to handle the litigation. And unless you are able to foresee what kind of future litigation could come up, you cannot effectively deliver a good compliance to your clients.
Hmm.
So I think somewhere I would see it this way. It's a combination of all.
Hmm.
And though we people are in litigation, today businesses has very low risk appetite when it comes to tax litigations. Trust me when I say this, because nobody takes the pride of claiming, okay, my organization's name is going to come up in the High Court decision or the Supreme Court decision. So today I want to challenge this show cause notice so that tomorrow I will be there in the Supreme Court. None of the businesses take this decision. Everybody wants to keep their litigation level as minimum as possible, right? So that being the intention, today corporates are looking at not only the litigation oriented solution, corporates are even looking at people who can give compliance solution, but those who are having the experience of handling litigation. See, because I know today the way in which I'm going to file the GST return, it could be in such a way that I have handled probably hundreds of litigations which has come up emanating from the compliances, and hence my quality of compliance could be much better. Correct. So I
Right.
think it's not a question of which is a better area of opportunity. It's all about where you want to build your niche. And corporates definitely look at, and if I have to put all these things in a simple word, today all of us are looking for multi-speciality hospital. Multi is also required, specialty is also required.
To require. Right.
So it
Right.
has to be a mix of all with core niche into everything.
Hmm. Yes, ma'am.
I
Correct.
hope that answers your question.
Yes, yes, ma'am. That 100% fully answers. And ma'am, that this is a wonderful blend of practical insight and professional experience, your professional expertise. I feel that this made you answer this question so smoothly and so easily, so that our audience can understand. Ma'am, for what technical knowledge and soft skills should professionals focus on developing to build this GST practice basically?
See, as we talk about, end of the day, it's the legality. That's the primary one. You cannot practice an indirect tax without reading the law verbatim, without, knowing how exactly the law works. Act, rules, notifications, circulars, these are fundamental. Any kind of shortcut through all these AI or this WhatsApp messages, forwards, etc., is not going to be a workable solution. Ultimately, it's the depth of knowledge in the taxation matter that is what is going to help you serve, right? But having said that, apart from this technical skill, when I say technical skill, it is the core taxation knowledge plus the numerical analytical knowledge. See, that is exactly where we as chartered accountants are able to deliver it better. Correct. We understand the law, we also understand how the number works, and hence we are able to provide a comprehensive solution. Because there is some set of people who are able to only understand the law, but they are not able to connect with the numbers. If you are good at numbers, but you are not able to connect with the law, so somewhere you are not able to give a comprehensive solution. It's not a solution oriented approach that you can give to your clients. So, that being the case, I think when it comes to the technical skills, fairly, you need to have the blend of these two. But having said that, soft skills are definitely important as we stand today. Now, what we call as soft skills. First of all, it starts with communication. Communication, it could be like, as Umesh sir rightly pointed out, some are listeners, some are speakers, and some are writers, right? But at the end, some form of communication is definitely required. Some of us may not be good at speaking in the front end, but at least we should be able to do some kind of deep work in terms of writing at the back end. So, some kind of communication skill is necessary. And as we touch upon the soft skill, I would put it this way, see, communication is end of the day, it's all about, let's say I'm the speaker, I'm the sender here. Do I convey in a way that the receiver is able to receive what I'm saying? This is very important, very, very important skill, especially when it comes to tax litigation. It's not a question of whether you are right. It's more about a question of are you able to effectively communicate whenever you are representing to the tax officers, whenever you are representing, whenever you are having a client meeting, whenever you are delivering any form of these kind of lectures, and whenever you have to face forums like tribunal, because you are going to have a very limited zone, and within that zone you should be able to convey what you want to convey effectively. So it's not about what you intend to say. It's more about looking at it from the other person's perspective and what do you need. Let's say, for example, if I'm going to talk, let's say I'm going to be a counsel in the tribunal case, right? So I should be able to prepare myself thinking not just from my perspective, not just from my client's perspective. All those kind of emotions should not come into the picture. What is more important is I should be able to have this six thinking hat approach, we call it as, right? So I should be able to think not only from the perspective of the taxpayer, I should be able to think more from the perspective of the department. So it's like, how we play chess, right? So it's not about the piece that you are moving now. You should be able to effectively strategize if this is the move that I'm going to make, what is going to be the next move from the opponent? For that, what would be my next move? Then factoring what would be the 10th move from now, am I making the right move now? So you should be able to have some kind of a strategy in place. These are all the soft skills that we are talking about, right? And especially when it comes to litigation, it's not a question of knowing my strength. It's more about knowing the strength of the other side. I should be able to know my weakness. Knowing the weakness itself is a greatest strength. So all these comes together as a package. Unless one is able to effectively has these kind of soft skill, I think it has to be a fair blend of technical skills and soft skills. And most importantly, we all need to have some amount of empathy, especially when we are trying to build it as an organization with team members. I'm sure none of us can, do anything alone. We definitely require a support system, right? But what kind of growth path are we giving to the support system? It's not a question of me. It's not a question of who am I. It's a question of what am I should be defined based on what kind of leaders I'm able to, bring them
Follow.
up.
Hmm.
Correct. So that
Yes.
mentorship is a very important element. Of course, when we talk about mentorship, what is most important is the, empathy and the way we are able to effectively communicate with them. So fairly, all these things are required for one. It's not a question of one over the other. You cannot be like, all the time giving some gyans, but at the end, when you are not strong technically, none of these are going to be helpful. But even though you are technically really strong, unless you are able to effectively represent, effectively able to handle people, effectively be able to represent in front of the forums and tax officers, etc., then you cannot bring that 360-degree solution. So I think it's a fair blend of both.
Right, ma'am, right. Ma'am, could we know who were your mentors?
You're asking me?
Yes,
I
ma'am.
think the
Chadam.
list goes very, very big. It's very difficult to name a few. Okay, so since it is ITTC, I'll start with RK sir. Okay, he has been, in fact, a push for me in terms of authoring the book, in terms of being a speaker, etc. I think the list is really huge. I can call it like Vaidishwaran sir, who is my first ever teacher for indirect taxation, and then Jatin sir, who is, very kind enough in terms of hand holding. Very few people tell you wrong. Most of the people will be there to tell you what is right, but he'll be there to tell you, no, Sharda, you think of it in these manners. So there have been, it's a big list of mentors who have been behind the scene to constantly keep encouraging, motivating. I think even my mom, the way she has encouraged me when I had to go through my own challenges in my professional journey, my mom has been the greatest, pillar of support. And lot of teachers, my income tax teacher, Vatsan sir, or MPV sir, I think the list is so huge. My school teacher, MS sir. So the list of mentors are so huge. I don't think I can, list it very easily. And of course, my partner, my life partner, come business partner, who has done a very important role in terms of shaping me professionally.
Right, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am, for sharing this, for sharing everything, actually. Ma'am, now I come to Achal, ma'am. Ma'am, there was a question, ma'am, as a woman professional leading a successful GST practice, what were the key challenges you faced during your early years of your career, and how did you overcome them?
Ah, if you're talking about the challenges, maybe early years are only going on. So I do not consider key. I'm at the late years of my professional journey. But definitely, I would like to add one thing here, Sapna. Whatever growth we are achieving, I am not comparing with anyone. I always compare my yesterday with my today and my tomorrow, what I'm going to do. So whenever you compare, the growth is within yourself, and growth is not meant to be shown to people. Growth is meant when you feel, okay, I did this wrong yesterday, and there is not going to be every day right. First, we need to understand why I'm mentioning so, because whenever we go for litigation practice, every day is not my day.
Right.
Whenever you go for the litigation, whenever you meet the officer, every
Hmm.
time he's going to convince with you is not that day. So we need to understand, and as we are talking about the Women's Day also, and I connect both, we always pose women with 10 hands and doing all the things at its best, managing the child, doing the household chores, running errands at the weekends, and everything professionally. And no, it is not going to be. So we need not to stress ourselves firstly for that. Challenges, yes, that do comes. It comes to everyone, to me or to anybody else, to a male or a female whenever they go for the professional journeys. But particularly talking about, although we talk about the elite group of people, very educated ones, we are meeting the officers, you have your fellow people working with you, colleagues, and everyone. Sometimes you are being judged on the basis of your whether you are a female or a male. Your sex comes into the play, which should not be at the workplace. Did ICI distinguishes between the curriculum that this should be kept for the male and this should be kept for the female? Answer is no.
No.
But at the workplaces, although we hail from a very elite society, or we are amongst those people, but certainly I feel sometimes that this gender biasness comes into being. And the challenges which you face, which being a woman particularly I faced when I went for the DGGI cases, and the officer looking at me said, are you going to handle it? With a tinge of suspicion in his mind, whether she will be able to handle it. I read that like that. And that is what happened. He said to the party concerned that, is she going to be your counsel? तो उन्होंने बोला, yes, she's going to be my counsel. So he said, okay. He talked to me like he posed that it's a challenge on me if I will be able to handle that case. So that happened. The party deposited a pre-tax of 1 crores, which when he later told me that I never expected it. But I think so hard work, dedication is the key for every challenge which is thrown onto you. And especially when it comes to your self-respect, you are more into it. So that is what sometimes happened. And in that case also the same thing happens. I'm just sharing one of my experience. I presented the case, I drew the sheets, I presented it through the Excel sheets, I did the working, party deposited the taxes, I convinced the party that they are liable to deposit this much of tax, and they did so. So, going by it, the later when the case was settled, the officer said to me, "You are the first lady counsel who is coming to me handling a DGGI case." I said, "Does that matter?" I don't think so that matters. He said, "I never thought anybody can get starting tax of 1 CR from the party. I said that was due, that was supposed to be paid, so I could convince the party. But I asked him one thing in return, that whenever the next any female comes to you, never judge whether it's a male or a female, because he mentioned me the way the charts were prepared, those were so handy that they need not to compute anything. Matching of it was a GST case, and the matching of the, it was actually a real estate case. So the plots that were sold with their documents, with their excels. So what I want to say, challenges comes for everyone, especially during the initial phases. And I think so, you two both will agree, when I did my fourth or fifth deliberation, so somebody said me, oh, ye kal ki ladki will give us the lecture. I started looking a little, overaged as to my age. No, no, I need to look a little older as to what I am. So challenges do come professionally. Still, people says me from tier one country, cities mentioning how you travel being a female so much as a speaker. This is the particular question that comes to us. I think so Shada will also agree to the same to some extent. So I say, because I have a family to manage the back end, and I have a support, I never distinguish. If my husband can travel, if anybody can travel, I can also travel by sharing the responsibilities. I never shirk from the responsibilities, but yes, for work we travel, and this is the lighter way to overcome the challenges. And I consider the male and female the part of the ecosystem. So we are the part, so we can handle those professional challenges also and the personal challenges also.
Yes, ma'am. So I
Rightly
can.
said, Anshul. In fact, I
Yes,
just want to
yes,
add
ma'am.
one thing.
Yes,
What
ma'am.
we miss out here is that, let's say we travel 5 days out of 365 days, we think that there is a support system to help us travel. And what happens for the 360 days? There are people who are traveling for so many days. How many times are we telling that when a man is traveling, when a man is traveling, are we really acknowledging that there is a support system? That's the reason why he is able to travel. But we always raise this question, because women are traveling, there is a support system behind.
Yes, Shahada, that's because of the reason na, that we have made the society has made the stereotypes
Absolutely.
that this is a women's responsibility. Managing the household chores is a women's responsibility. That is why this question is posed to us. That how are you traveling, how you are professionally managing. Things are changing now. From maternity, we are moving to the paternity leaves also. So times are changing, but overall, our society needs to change, and it's the women only who are going to bring these changes by raising the next generations the way it should be. May it be a male or boy or a girl or male or female, whatever.
Yes.
Absolutely. I think I completely, agree with you.
Yes, ma'am. And I could say that both of you have broken all that stereotypes and have come this stage, as Umesh Sharma sir also appreciated. He also introduced both of you, that the level at which you both are working as a speaker, you both are delivering lectures. So that is really inspiring and really motivating for all the participants. And
See, I think
ma'am,
I'll add one thing, Sapna. See, we are talking about we have broken the doors or we have broken the ceiling. The fact is that it is because there are a lot of other women who have already done that. We all know about Lady Shivabhogam, right? The first chartered accountant woman.
yeah, yeah,
So imagine in a world, in an era where there is only, I mean, you cannot imagine a woman to be CA.
right.
So today, at least, there are so many women out there who are chartered accountants. Correct. So
Yes,
imagine in that era where basic school education itself was not even available for so many girls in this country, she has traveled up to becoming CA. Correct. And in
right. Yes.
fact, if I do not know if you are aware of her story,
Yeah, yeah.
even after becoming a CA, she was not given the membership, and she has to go to the court to get the membership. There is a big story on that. So there are people who have already broken the ceiling. All we need to do is at least keep traveling through the path so that it's again not getting shut. If we don't travel, what will happen? Then again it becomes shut. Who's the reason here? Not the other gender. See, today we are in an era where I think women has fairly equal or good amount of opportunity. And I don't think we need to even talk about the opportunities in the professional side. In fact, there is a good amount of respect also. It's both ways. I mean, I have also faced the kind of points that Anshul is referring to. You are a female. Do you handle goods retention matters? You are a female. Do you handle intelligence matters? These kind of questions even come to me. You are a female. Are you ready to travel and handle this matter? So these kind of questions come to me as well. But at the same time, let's also acknowledge that if a woman is going for representation, I also see that there are a lot of people who slightly have that smaller additional amount of respect. With all due respect, it's not that they don't respect man, but
Mhm.
somewhere there is an X percentage of additional respect which is given to a woman when we are going for representation.
Yes,
So
yes.
all these are because of some kind of that some kind of unequal status in which the society has been through, right? So I'm sure the next generation would come up with some changes. But after all, what we need to do is we need to keep walking through the doors. I'm sure Anchal would also agree with me. If let's say there is going to be one indirect tax, conference that's happening in the region, if there are 20 members, hardly one could be a woman. That's exactly where we are today. Correct. But what is important is to be vocal. What is important is to keep doing this. I'm sure what starts as one or two today would definitely become, 5 to 10 tomorrow. And men are definitely open. Trust me, let me be very, very, very honest. The remaining 19, right? They have been really a great support for accepting me as one among them.
Yes, yes.
A huge
Right.
respect to all those men who has always given me a good amount of space. They never treated me any differently. There is a lot of respect which I have got it in the professional zone. That's why I keep repeating today women are respected, women are treated equally when it comes to the professional side. But where really we require support is not in the professional side but in the domestic side. If there is a conference of 200 people, everybody expects there should be women participation, right? And
Yeah.
out of 200, if there are 20 women, they are definitely happy. If this 20 progresses to be 30, they are much more happy. But my question here is, now that there are 30 women, there is another 170 men. How many out of those 170 men are ready to send their wife for such conference? That will only create a difference here.
Yes, ma'am.
Every
That's
men
true.
are expecting women in the professional side, but how many of them are willing to give the same space in their domestic side? They're all happy to see their, daughter grow professionally. How many are willing to see their wife grow? How many are willing to see their mothers grow? Let it be at the age of 50, 60. Are you ready to help your mom to, build on a business for herself? So I think somewhere everything starts from home. The day we see the change at home, I'm sure the society will also change for a better reason.
Right, ma'am. I think certainly this is an important key takeaway that our audience should take. They might be males or females uh, or even upcoming young professionals. I think this is a key takeaway for them, even for beginning their journey. Like Achal ma'am said that she broke the stereotype of that officer. Right. So that officer was under the impression that only male CAs can do this, can take up these cases. But yes, ma'am showed up. So I think young professionals have that opportunity, and I think they can cater these opportunities like these as well. Ma'am, another question to you, Anchal ma'am. GST practice requires not only technical expertise but also client trust. So how did you establish credibility and confidence among clients in the initial phase of your practice?
Stepna, I found these questions interrelated. The previous one which you asked me and what Shraddha madam mentioned. Uh, of course, being a woman, sometimes you get the extra edge also. When there is a long queue and you are the only female who is representing the case, you are given a chance to represent it at earlier, and certain other privileges definitely flow to you. But at the same time, if you say client trust, it comes with the time and your delivery to the client. If you are able to handle the client's query in an effective manner, you are able to deliver. How I could break the that biasness in the officer's mind was not by saying I can
Hmm.
handle. No, I could do that by delivering the work. And same thing applies to the client also. And same thing applies to a male, female, a beginner, also, whosoever he or she is, that you need to deliver. Initially, when I used to sit at office, many clients used to come and say, Sir hai. So I used to tell them, I am also a chartered accountant. I can handle your query. Now, again, the question used to come, no, sir hai. I said, it's okay, sir is not available. You need to give the client a cushion. You need to treat him the way he wants to be and his query to be addressed. I said, no, sir is not there, but if you can share that query with me, I can handle it and we'll discuss with sir. So initially giving this thing to the client, repost, okay, that she will handle. If she will not be able to, she will check it out. So when I actually deliver to the client, so that delivery reposed his confidence in me. Okay, she handled it. So next time when the client will come, will not ask for your senior, for the new chartered accountant, for a male counterpart when they are coming to a female chartered accountant, or to the person with already they are having a trust. So it's all about trust, and it all depends upon the way you handle, the way you technically analyze. And talking about GST, somewhere I feel we get casual sometimes in our approach whenever we advise the client or when we handle the cases. So now linking it with GST, you are not a Google, you are not a chat GPT. You cannot remember everything every time. Anybody meeting you in a conference or anybody meeting you in a party, start asking the queries and they expect you should know everything. Make it a point. Wherever I go, if I feel I do not know the answer, I say it there. If I need to recheck it, we need to say that, okay, according to me, this is my opinion, but we need to check it based upon the law in front of us. Because law is a subject where even a comma or a placement of a hyphen makes a lots of difference, and you cannot remember everything. So when you give that thing to your client, okay, you make the value addition. Many of it happened with me in one of the incident. My client was like, "Mujhe GST notices kyun aate hai? Why I'm getting the GST notices? Are you not filing the returns correctly?" So we then gave this point to him: check the points of the notices. That's not because of incorrect, that's because of the system generation, that because of the HSNs which you are quoting. If you will make value addition to your client, he was to lose a case when he involved what was his ideology, paying a 20 or 25 lakhs will settle my case up, and you make that value addition through your knowledge which you acquire over time, stating कि नहीं, ये आप जो 25 लाख सोच रहे हो, that can be done only with interest and 15% penalty being paid, bringing that amount from 25 to say 3-4 lakhs, and saving off that amount, that builds a confidence in the client. So it is only through the delivery of the work that a client's confidence is built, irrespective of the gender factor, irrespective of the beginner. Yes, initially, I always say you need to give more because you're going to build a trust. When once it is built, now you need to maintain the consistency. So that is your efforts which brings the confidence, the client's confidence in you.
Right, ma'am. I think
100%
many of
agree. I 100% agree with you, Anshul. In fact, just to add, if I have to say, 99 percentage of my clients are male, where the decision makers are male. So I'm thankful for them where they have chosen to give their GST matters to me and my team without being judgmental on the gender. They have chosen me not because I'm a woman. They have chosen me because of my expertise in the subject. As you rightly said, if we are able to demonstrate what is our skill, what is our experience, how we are able to give them the solution, technically, I think they will be convinced. But at an early stage, you should be ready to invest on certain things. See, at an early stage, you should not expect, no, no, the client should come to me, the client should, be in line with my terms. At an early stage of building a practice, you should be more in the giving side. But I'm sure with time, you will be able to gain some kind of, expertise where you know where you need to invest, where you should not be investing, where you need to have a better command. So these things will come with experience. And I still remember the first client I had in GST, where I need to handle a transition credit, which was a completely messed up matter. After completing everything, only one day I went and spoke to him regarding the commercials. I worked for the entire tenure, and then I went and spoke to him for the commercials. And I told him, sir, I need to give my professional fees for this. This is my first client experience. So I told him, sir, I need to give my professional fees for this. He said, why are you hesitating so much? You totally deserve it. Please charge whatever you want. I think that is the confidence which is still pushing me till date. And that is from a male, not from a female. So I'm sure fairly we are getting, I don't think there is any gender bias because of being a male or female. It's end of the day about how confidently we are able to deliver things. But as Anchal said, there were days, there used to be days if where the client is approaching you saying whether sir is there. And
That is
probably
it.
today I have a team. The team is doing a wonderful job. I must tell you, my team members predominantly containing male, they are doing a wonderful job. Still, client is coming after getting all the conclusions from them. They still ask, can I get that conclusion from ma'am?
Ma'am.
So it's all about how you change the wheel. It's on us how we demonstrate ourselves,
Yes, ma'am.
right? So it's
Ma'am,
at the end, it's only the skill set that matters.
yes, yes. Truly, truly said, ma'am. I am sure many participants would relate with their experience, relate the same thing. And ma'am, next question is to Ajal, ma'am. Sometimes professionals face difficult situations during client interactions and representations, especially upcoming chartered accountants, or if somebody is doing some new type of case first time. So how should professionals handle such situations while maintaining professionalism and confidence?
See, you said at the beginning of the careers, nobody Sapna learns from others. We all learn when we come here. We practice a particular thing. Whenever you do anything for the first time, there are always the challenges. The only thing is not to give up. And you need to motivate yourself every day for the same. We also do so every day. See, when you do work and you get the results, that is the first motivation that encourages you to go to the next step, next higher step. So if a person is taking a new assignment in hand, you might find it difficult. Present it the way you think in the best possible with the complete research on it. Do not leave any stone unturned. The results may or may not be favorable. This has happened with me. I was representing a client's case. It came through income tax search and was given to me stating there is a 7 crore of ITC pending in the balance sheet. So I was of the considered view that the refund is due for the same in GST. And you will imagine the time was expiring in next 3 days. For
Yeah.
every month, we were on the brink. So first month was 50 lakh rupees. So we applied for the refund, and within a few days, the officer rejected it. But I had no time to go to the appeal and wait for the appeals order. What we did, we kept on applying the refunds. 9 refunds in a row was rejected. I was disheartened, not that much, because I assured the client that the refund is due. And when it comes to your respect, that okay, you analyzed it, you professionally analyzed it, you said that refund is due. However, the officer rejected it altogether. So I am saying it because when you are entering into a field, or when I applied my first GST refund, the party said, "Ye nahi aata hai." I said, "This will come. I know it. This will come." वो आ गया. That was fine. But sometimes you see the blessing in disguise, and this is what happened. That because that refund was rejected, I was to represent it at a higher forum. Sometimes your failures, I will not call this a failure. Sometimes the things when do not work according to you, what you want. So that pushes you all through. Your success of the previous case pushes you to do better. Your failure of the first case also pushes you to do better. And when I represented it at the appellate level, it connected me to the appellate level for the first time. I'm talking way back few years. So it gave me an edge to connect with that appellate. I would not have got that opportunity at that early time had that refund not been rejected there,
Not being
had
rejected.
that not been that quantum. So this is how I see, when you are doing something and you are not able to succeed the way you wanted it, it will take you to a higher step. And when I represented, it gave me a confidence. And it became one of my favorite case studies while discussing on the GST topics itself.
Professional.
So professionally also, and on the as a speaker also, I got a case study which I got there at the initial stages. You face challenges, but you need to learn to overcome that and to see to learn from your own previous mistakes. You can seek guidance. Do not hesitate. We all learn. We learn from each other. So whosoever are new, do not hesitate saying, I don't know this. We cannot know everything. Seek advice from your elders, the people who are already there in profession. Sharda ma'am respectfully named so many mentors, because we look upon them, we learn from them, and we should devise our own ways to handle that. So to me, if whatever you are doing for the first time, do it with the complete efforts. Results favorable will also push you, only you should be motivated. Results non-favorable even will push you and will help you to do better. To get that refund, I had gone to such a level which I would never imagined. I visited the factory, I spent time on research and everything. So take a pushback from whatever you are doing. Seek advice from your people who are already there in the profession, doing good there, from your elders at home whenever you are facing any sort of difficulty. So these are the few things which I resort to, and I will be failing in my duty if I mention that our culture also helps us a lot. Our what we call sanskar and culture also helps us. Sometimes when I feel demotivated and I read few lines of Gita or a few lines of Durga Stuti, that gives me immense power to come back. What you think you cannot do, that gives you a power ki you are also the part of that of them only. So you get the power from the, वो कहते हैं ना, bulb तो जल रहा है, but it is the light which is coming from the back. So our spiritual connect, our culture also supports the same.
Yes, ma'am. Sharda ma'am, would you like to add something?
See, I completely agree with every word that Anshul was telling. Certainly, all of us have our own days of good days, bad days, etc. As you rightly said, at some point of time, if we are facing a failure, what we think as a failure, I'm sure that is a stepping stone. And it's not just written on words, it's something that we all would have experienced. Just take, I mean, most of us, I mean, all of us are CAs, right? Imagine when you have to face some kind of failure in your CA final day, CA inter days. See, let me tell you, I didn't clear my final and first attempt. Okay. When I did not get through in the first attempt, because for me that was a big shock. Because until my school days, I used to be one of the state toppers, school topper, whatever you call it. And then I completed my, foundation, inter, etc. and first attempt. And all these were like, academically, I used to be always a topper. And I could not never take it that, I have failed. That is something that was not at all, acceptable for me. But then my mom told me, at that point of time, my mom told me, see, don't think it's a failure. Your own friends who have cleared in the first attempt, they would have got the opportunity to read the subject only once. Now you are getting an opportunity to read the subject once again.
Yes,
Probably,
ma'am.
let's say, even if it is taxation, you are upgrading yourself to what is
Yeah.
relevant for the next year. So why don't you look at this as an opportunity? If not for my mom who was telling me at that point of time, I don't think I would have given that push in this. I mean, what was helping me is the amount of confidence that she had on me. Instead of scolding me for failure, she was supporting me for failure. That is more than sufficient for me to push myself. That gave me much more reasons for why I need to complete it, right? And even today my daughter keeps telling me, if there is a day I just have to tell her, see, please understand, I'm having some hectic schedule. That's the reason why I'm not able to spend time with me. She tells me, that's absolutely okay, ma. I'm so happy. Instead of helping me as one person, you are probably sharing the knowledge with 100 other people. So I'm still happy about what you are doing. That's okay, it happens. I mean, that's how I can also make myself better. I will make sure that I am taking care of myself. So I think this is the support system that you require. And I'm sure, in fact, as we mentioned about the mentors, there are some people whom we look up to. And let's say if they are going to have some half an hour of discussion with us, telling that no, Sharda, you can do this. I think that's more than sufficient. Every single opportunity that comes your way, let's say even this particular session, the speakers, I mean, the chairman and the vice chairman could have chosen anybody else. Why should it land in your hand? That gives you much more reason for why you need to work forward. Correct? So every single opportunity that comes your way, including a failure, will teach you something better. As she rightly pointed out, if you are going to fail in the first level appellate authority, it means you get an opportunity to go in the tribunal. But that doesn't mean every time I can fail. That's not the point. But if let's say you are doing something for the first time for a client, you should do it as if you are doing it for the nth time. Maybe for you it could be a first case, but for the client, this is a matter of his own money. This is what I keep repeating even to my team. Are we all having the mindset to give my personal bank account to somebody? The answer is no. If the client has entrusted all their tax litigation matters, all their compliances matters to us, that itself is a great sense of responsibility that we need to carry. But having said that, this is a responsibility. Look at it in one side of it. The other side, once you get into the actual operation part of it, do not come with all these emotional part of client, their money, etc. Then you become reactive, not being responsive. There we need to apply our technical skills. We should not get too much carried away. The moment you see a show cause notice, don't get into a shocking reaction. No, no, no. You know, the show cause notice has come, order has come. What do I do now? That's not the way in which we have to panic and react. Response is required there. But having said that, when it comes to the client, responsibility is required. So we have to have a fine balance of these two. That's about it.
Yeah, Shada, what you mentioned and what was her previous question, even that how you get the client confidence. I always, when the client says, इसको अच्छे से आप जरूर देख लेना and all that. So I say them, for you, it's a money matter. For me, it's my respect matter. So to you, it is important. To me, it is more important because you are going to carry a trust from me. So that respect which I will be getting, so leave it on to us. We will handle it in the way we should.
True,
Yes, ma'am.
absolutely true. See, for a simple case, let's say if you are charging 20,000 rupees or 2 lakh rupees, I think it's only a quantum which we are charging, estimating our time and efforts. That's different. But having taken up the work, whether it is 20,000 or 2 lakh, I would still do it the same way because there it is my craftsmanship. I cannot
Yes,
make it any different.
you
The
reminded me
document
of one
speaks
thing, you
of
know,
my
Shada.
name.
Uh, I did a case in 2018-19 without thinking about the fee, what is going to come. I booked that case for my tribunal at that time. See, in 18-19, because the client said that the first appellate authority, we could not succeed. So at that time, I said, we today finalize the fee and we will do it whenever the tribunal comes. That was because when opportunity comes to you, do not look at the money, especially when you are going to learn something, when you already have case in hand before the tribunal comes. That gives you a confidence. Okay, when the tribunal will come, I will have the moment to experience that part of the tribunal. I already know what to work upon, how to get it prepared. So sometimes for gaining the experiences, we need not to look into the monetary aspect. That is a vital aspect, but at the same time, experience also matters the most.
Agreed.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much for the your answers. Were both of you were really motivating. Ma'am, coming to for the next perspective, ma'am, technology is transforming every day, and so it is for professionals as well. So, is it a challenge or so that technology AI is there? How do you see technology, automation, and AI impacting GST practice? And how should professionals adapt to remain relevant?
Should I begin it with?
I
Acha, all right, you please carry.
I mean, if yeah, yeah, I think if you can give a clarity, it's posed to me or Anchal?
Actually, it is for both of you, so
Both. Okay.
anyone can answer first.
Okay, see, let me give my perspective. It's not a question of whether it is GST, any field for that matter, anywhere for that matter. There are two things. Either you should work on the technology or your work should be something that cannot be done by technology. As simple as that. This is about survival in the future. Let's agree with this fundamental. Okay. So even if you look into it from GST practice, you can see something as a threat, but you can also see something as an opportunity. It's all about how we see it. Correct? So let's say from my organization's perspective, how we see technology is that we see it as both. In the sense, where I see it as an opportunity, we are working on, or we have already worked on, and we have given the automated solution to our clients. We have built our own GST solution with all sort of automated features, whether it is reconciliation, whether it is filing the returns or the litigation tracker, etc. We have built our own technology solution, and that way it is helping our clients also. That way it is helping us not to see technology as a threat, but to see technology also as our niche to serve the client. This is one part of the story. Now come to the other part. Okay, when it comes to the services, there are certain things which cannot be done by technology. There are we sharpening our human brains. Not everything can be done by technology, right? I mean, today you see like ChatGPT is giving you all wrong results for all the case laws, right? But it's not that my strength is not because of the ChatGPT's weakness. I'm sure today there are a lot of better AI tools which are available in the market, which is doing a wonderful job when it comes to giving a solution for the litigation or for the advisory. But the question here is what is required when it comes to litigation is not just about drafting or it's not just about the case law. It is something more to do with the art of strategy, approach, and advocacy. You need to have a strategy in place. Without strategy, trying to answer for a question is not going to help. As I told you, it's more like playing a chess. It's not a question of what answer you give. What approach do you take today? Every single time when you approach a case, let's say if there is an ASMT which is given to you today, you should not look at the ASMT or an intimation as if it's an intimation. You have to foresee what if this matter has to travel up to tribunal? How well am I safeguarding the client? At the same time, the client is not interested to go to tribunal all the time. Am I able to effectively give him a faster remedy? So there has to be a balance of these two approaches. Tomorrow, if the matter is going to land up in the tribunal, the way in which I am answering the ASMT, the way in which I am answering the show cause notice should help him for the future litigation. But the way I am going to handle this matter should be as if this need not even go to the tribunal. So a fine balance of these two are required. How does it come? Can this be given by AI? The answer is still no. Correct. So the approach or the 360-degree solution, that is where our skill set lies. But when technology is going to help me to deliver this solution in an easier way, why not embrace it, accept it, learn that as part of your skill and give it as a solution. So I think it's both threat as well as an opportunity. It's all about how we see it. If you see it as an opportunity, work towards it. Create an opportunity there. If you see it as a threat, then yes, now that it is a threat, how do you sail above it? Let it be your threat. Are you able to deliver something beyond that? So that is exactly where your strength will come into the picture. Okay, so it's
Yes.
all about how we, do that juggling. So every single threat would give you another opportunity. It's all about our way we are going to see it.
So I would say here, Sapna, like Sharda mentioned, I think so. The Chat GPT and the AI tools are my best employees. So they understand me to the quickest extent. I say that make technology your helper. Do not let it master you. Be the master. Let the technology be your helper. You cannot, in this era, you do not have the choice to leave the technology. You need to adapt to the same. If I say you not to have a smartphone, not to have a mobile, you will be out of touch. Previously, people never used to have it. But now, when the times are changing, and now we have seen a drastic change when AI has came into being, and I also see the professions going a big change. May it be chartered accountancy, may it be the doctors, you see, may it be the engineers, may it be the architects. Architects use technologies for drawing maps, for creation of 3D technologies. If a chartered accountant is not giving you 3D, if an architect is not giving you 3D, you will say that person has given me a 3D. That is all driven, technology driven. So we need to adapt technology, but do not let it master you. As she rightly quoted, nowadays, many things are on WhatsApp also, through the court judgments also. But if you start learning the law through the WhatsApp, that is wrong. WhatsApp just keep you ticking. Something has come. All right. Something has come. Analyze it from your brain. You can match it through different sources, through the technology, through the AIs. I'm not talking about those AIs which are open. I'm even talking about today many good platforms have come up along with a number of AIs which do the research work for you, which do the case analysis for you without hallucination and all. And they are highly paid. So even then, do not let it master you. Apply your own brain. Trust more on your original intelligence rather than the artificial intelligence only. So I would say, as a chartered accountant, my practice has changed a lot. I give the dictation instead of giving it to my employee and taking her or his or her time. I give it to ChatGPT or to any AI I use, and that converts it into the in a way that it is able to understand what I'm trying to say. But then I need to go through it again technically based upon the law, rechecking it. It helps you to present your slides, to do so much of work, to help us to create the YouTube content and all. But at the same time, you just cannot rely upon the same. It can only help you. It is giving you a picture, but that whether that picture is suitable there or not, आंचल को ढूंढना है. It can find lots of आंचल. Whether it is you only, you need to check that. So technology you cannot leave. You need to be in hand to hand with the technology. Make it your servant, the best served one. It reduces your time considerably. Trust me, drafting replies, drafting appeals, and helping me to get the initial point of certain issues. It helps you. But sometimes I find it that it is absolutely contrary to what I was looking for or what my answer would have been. So you need to recheck that. But adopt technology, go for it, change yourself, and the one who changes always continues.
Always stays in the run.
Yes, certainly.
Stays in the race, right?
So we are also using technology. Now you see, if we say we have converted our seminars into webinars, you are able to connect south, north, and the center of India. So this is only the technology. You sir could connect when both of them when they are traveling. I could connect. I am having 4 sessions for the day. On the way I could join. So we cannot say that we should resist technology. We should adopt it, but make it your servant, not your master.
Ma'am, one question was there. Um, Apart from AI, while drafting, while preparing for a case, what other things apart from AI do you most rely on? Like there is
You
going
want
to
to
be
know
an
the
act.
professional secrets in that case and want me to share that on this platform. Smart enough. All right. See, previously we used to have lots of books, the complete library on which we used to rely, that used to come, we used to read, we used to get that binded and then displayed at the back of your office space, right? But I personally have changed that to some extent. Of course, I read certain study materials that come in printed form as well as in soft copies to my office. But at the same time, I rely upon the paid databases also. There are many. First of all, you have lots of ICI publications where the known authors of the country have given their views. So why not to start from your own material, which is made after due research? So you're on. We are the authors of the same too. Shada has also contributed. Sir, as about Mesa was mentioning, he has written so much. So read those blogs, read those the articles which are printed through your regional councils, through your through ICI platform. Definitely, apart from that, when I go for the case researches, I use the online databases. There are many available in the market. You say Texman, TMI, many are there, ELT and all. So make use of that, makes your work a bit faster. But sometimes I even find reading through those sources, the best one is when you actually read the original judgment coming from the, see, again the technology comes into play. Whatever high court judgment, whatever supreme court judgment you want to have, everything is technology driven. Sitting in Punjab, I can get it for Ahmedabad. So use those databases. Act is the main, that is the key. And whenever you read it, no matter how many times, you always find a different interpretation within yourself also. So we also evolve in the interpretation part. You have rules, directly do not jump onto the jurisprudence. What I say, it there should be a sequential manner. There must be acts, rules, circulars, legal provisions, then jurisprudence of the current law, and if it is not available for the earlier regimes, not even from the earlier regimes, check the other tax laws. Many a times, the cases on incriminating material, the cases on such other topics, which I do not get in the GST law, I take it from income tax. If I do not get it from income tax, sometimes you get it from customs. If I do not get it from customs, when we talk about search and seizure proceedings, we get the CRPC case laws from that CRPC laws. Open yourself, GST तो वैसे ही बहुत connect करता है. It also teaches you the metrology law also, the measurement law also. So sequentially, in line to each other, and the knowledge आजकल सबसे ज्यादा what is available wherever you see is the knowledge. I to sometimes feel I am unable to handle the content of knowledge that falls on me.
Right, ma'am. Sharda ma'am, would you like to add?
See,
Basically,
one thing
we
I
want
just want
this
to
answer from you as well.
see one thing that
Apart
I
from
want to
AI.
add, as you know, Anshul rightly pointed out, at this point, I also wanted to add, you can also refer to this IDTC's, connected chat GPT. At least, you don't get these hallucinations happening there. There is a lot of database which has gone into it just to give, because if members are looking at where do I look into all these things, even IDTC has got one of the chat GPT patch up on these lines with the proper database. Okay. And see, it's all about, as Anshul rightly pointed out, at the end, you need to read. Sometimes we are getting over excited about where to read. I mean, too much of research happens into where to read, how to read, but finally, reading doesn't happen. You're getting over excited about, where
I
to
don't know
read.
about you. It gives me a stress level when I'm not able to read through the day or through the weeks. So that has become a thing कि अच्छा मेरा इतना पढ़ने वाला पड़ा हुआ है. Daily I keep a file on my side. I'm going to read this today. So every time you cannot do 100%, but yes, even doing a bit every day helps you to achieve something at the end when you finally look back.
See, the real confidence and that comes only from when your knowledge is upgraded. They say, like, knowledge is power, right? It's very true. If how much ever you are confident on the technicalities, that is only what is going to make you feel powerful. That would only make you feel empowered. You know you're talking right. Because there is nothing that you need to be doubtful about. Is there anything? Am I missing something? Is there anything that could go against me? Your level of knowledge is the only way in which you can feel powerful when you are representing. That is number one. And the other thing is, try not to do, shortcuts in every single way. See, let's say for example, if you use ChatGPT to summarize a case decision, fair enough. Okay. But is it the only way in which you need to read the case decision every single time? Let's say if the judgment itself is about 6 to 7 pages, why should you go and take the help of ChatGPT? Why don't you just read it off? Correct. So somewhere I think that is where there is a deviation. If the case law is after all 5 to 6 pages, if the case decision is after all 10 pages, why don't you just read the decision? rather than trying to look for a half page summary for it. I'll give you a classic example. Recently, we had the Supreme Court decision in the case of Tagar Vasudev, right? That is on the hostel accommodation, whether it is exempted, etc. There is too much of misleading headlines on that, that now it is exempted. Supreme Court has given a decision. If you read the case in entirety, it is a past matter. And the current position is already corrected. 2022, there is an amendment in the notification. And the current legal position is altogether different. If at all you want to take any reference from the Supreme Court decision, that is only for the period until 2022. The position is already altered. Still, people think that Supreme Court has decision has come. Senior Advocate Arvind Dattar has argued the decision is all in your favor. It is all exempted. It was exempted. The decision is about the past, not about what we are handling today. Right? So, just to give you a context, we are getting too much carried away by the headlines, too much carried away by the brevity, too much carried away by the summary, etc. As Anshul rightly pointed out, get yourself updated through all these shortcut messages. Prepare a library for yourself, knowing the list of matters where you need to look into. But having said that, don't do this shortcut when it comes to actual reading. Go with the actual, code decision if at all you want to update yourself. Headlines will not help you. Most of the headlines are only misleading. But the
Okay, so
headlines
you
will
have
give you an
taken.
indication there is something that you need to read. That is it. Headlines are important to give you the prompt, but not to give you the ultimate, knowing what it is.
Shraddha, I
So
think
take it
it
as a
is
prompt and read it.
exactly my experience of Thagar Vasudeva case. The same thing happened with me because when we read the laws from the WhatsApp, something else is there. And when you actually read, and Thagar Vasudeva was one of the best example. Completely with you for that reason.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. Actually, there are too many questions on AI, I could see. Ma'am, actually, audience wants to know which AI tools can we use for preparing this. So, as you had quoted some of them, like ChatGPT or websites, basically you have given them. So, would you like to state any name? Any of you, like
See,
both of
I
you?
mean, the idea of this is not to, talk about any of the particular tool that is available in the market. But having said that, many AI tools are available. Okay. One thing is that try to avoid ChatGPT. Okay, try to avoid blatant ChatGPT because it's giving you most of the time hallucinated case decisions. But where you can use ChatGPT is, let's say if you are struggling with how to draft, you have something in your mind, it can help you enhance the written language skill. That is one area where you can use the ChatGPT. Apart from that, ChatGPT is definitely not the right platform at all when it comes to any kind of shortcut on the research. On the other hand, there are a lot of other AI tools which are available, but as I already told you, GST, IDTC, ICAA has come up with their own chat GPT. Please make use of it. This is a free version which is available if you are looking for something which is a free version. And the next thing is, somewhere in this profession, I have seen many people ask this, do I have anything which is available for free? I mean, why are we still so much obsessed with free version? You want to charge your clients, right? Then why don't you take up some of the paid subscriptions? There are n number of paid subscriptions which are available. I don't want to give anything which is better than the other. We all know TMA is there, Taxman is there, Tax Sutra is there, Syntax is there. The list is huge. Again, I'm not giving a list which is like, these are the best list. No. But trust me when I say this, please do subscribe for a few. Okay, definitely it will help you. The more you are trying to work only based on unpaid subscription, it may not really help you. Okay, better you can subscribe for few of these online journals, which will definitely help you in terms of. In fact, they have got some AI solutions as well. Okay, but as I already told you, these are only going to help you, but your solution has to come from your end. Don't be in a hurry to take up some solution from there and then draft it and then give it to your client. It will not be a sustainable way of practice at all. At some point of time, you are bound to fail. It may not be today. It's more like you have you have some animal and then you try to cover it with some other animal. At some point of time, the true color is going to come out, right? So try not to do it. but take this as an effective tool for you to help your own knowledge to enhance. That is one thing that you can do. Okay, there are enough tools which are available in the market. Everything comes with its own price, cost, and accordingly some kind of a result. And there is no one size shoe that would fit for all. It totally depends upon what exactly is the solution that you are looking for. Okay, so that is something that you may have to figure it out. But especially when it comes to the court decisions, gone are the days. See, previously you used to have this ELT reporting, ITR reporting, and then this, customs reporting, and then TMA reporting, etc. Today, the reportings are directly happening in the court website itself. My best solution always for all these court judgment is that you don't really need to go by these private, references. Go to the court website, download the actual decision from the court website itself and read it. That is more than sufficient. If it is a very lengthy decision, then you can take up a summary at an early stage and then keep it marked. For example, safari retreat, you should read the entire decision. Mohit Mineral, you should read the entire decision, because it's not just about knowing what is the AC. It's not like you want to know the climax, right? Climax is already known. You want to see how the law, how the law is framed. That is more important. What is not agreed? See, let's say, for example, Mohit Mineral. The objective is not about knowing whether now, ocean freight is applicable or not. GST is applicable or not on the ocean freight. Answer is very simple. It's not applicable. Already the position has come out. But if you read the entire decision, you will know what kind of arguments were placed by the taxpayer, what kind of arguments were placed by the department side, what was accepted by the court, what was not accepted by the court. If you see in the argument, all the arguments from the taxpayers were all rejected only, except for only one argument, which is on the composite supply. So ultimately, the decision is in favor of the taxpayer, not because so many things were there. It's not because every argument has worked. There's only one argument that has worked. If you see, even though it's a success for the taxpayer, you will see brilliant arguments that is coming from the revenue side. Because ASG, Venkatraman sir is there on the other side. You will see n number of brilliant arguments that are coming from the revenue side also. That is the way you need to read the law with a lot of passion. It's not with the objective of knowing what is the result, right? The results are already there, but the way in which the result has been brought, we can learn from the seniors on what kind of positions have been taken. This shortcut, you will not get it through you will not get it through summary of the decisions, you will not get it in any other manner. This is my personal experience. Maybe it's a bit old school of, old school thought, but then unfortunately, that's the way in which we can sharpen our brain.
Yes, ma'am, definitely, ma'am. We'll follow this. I hope all the participants are convinced. I think you were really very specific about the use and what to read and from where to read. I think these questions are completely answered, I guess. Ma'am, coming to another question to you, what practical steps should professionals take in the first few years to build a strong GST practice and attract quality clients?
This is
So I
to
think
myself or
this
Anshul?
question, ma'am, it's for you, Sharda ma'am.
Okay. The early stage, I think we already discussed it. To keep it simple,
Yeah.
everything starts with one thing: start reading the law. Start listening to a lot of speakers, but listening alone will not help you. Even if you are going to listen to 10 seminars or webinars, that's not going to help you unless you take the book, sit and read it on your own. There is no shortcut for it. Okay. And then, as Anshul also rightly pointed out, at your early stage, do not look at the remuneration one on one. Try to see if it is a new opportunity for you to explore on something through which you are going to learn. Even if it is at a lower pricing, please accept it. But having said that, that's not the way to build your practice in the long run. At some point of time, when you are an authority on something, keep your pricing definitely on a higher side. Keep it at par with your market standards. Okay, do not undercut on the pricing. That's not the way to win the matters. But you can probably go for a lesser charges if it's a new matter where you are going to gain an experience, right? So this is one thing. The other thing is that be very sincere to the law. This is something that I have learned from Jatin sir. Your loyalty is not towards your client, your loyalty is towards the law, right? but your responsibility is towards the client. You don't need to be loyal to the client. You cannot expect the client to be loyal to you. If the client is telling you, you please handle this, I have 10 other matters, all that I will give it to you, let it come or let it not come. That's not the way in which you have to see it, right? But your loyalty should be to the law, but your responsibility is towards the client. So at an early stage, what is really important is build on your skills. Because once you grow at a point, as Anshul rightly pointed out, no, today we badly want to have, I mean, we have a big list of things to read at all point of time, just that we are not having the time to read all these. We are somehow trying to fit in time to make sure that our, skill enhancement is continuous. But at an early stage, if you are having lesser opportunities, do not regret for it. That is the best time where you can, invest on yourself for enhancing your skills, right? Work on the root. The problem here is once your tree starts, giving fruits, flowers, etc., you will hardly have very little time to work on the root. But that is the reason why you need to strengthen the root at the early stage. So the more you give, the more you will get. In fact, for this International Women's Day this year, the theme itself is, give to gain, right? The more you give, please be completely open when it comes to giving. I'm saying this because unfortunately, in this profession, we come across a lot of chartered accountants. I'm saying this with a lot of respect also. With due respect, there are a lot of people who want to hold back their knowledge. But today, the world is changing. If you are going to hold back your knowledge, somebody else is going to give. So by holding back, you cannot gain anything. But when you start giving, you are going to gain better. Because when you start giving everything that you know, what you do, you cannot go empty, right? Then you will start refilling. You'll be in the pressure of refilling. Correct? And the more you are going to be in the giving side, that itself will push you towards learning more. The more we give, I'm certainly sure that the more we are going to be in the gaining side.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
That's
Ma'am,
the mantra
Achal,
for your early stage.
yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I have just noted this that give to gain, and really, I'm my Women's Day is going to be this year. Achal, ma'am, would you like to add something?
I totally agree with Shraddha on this point. And as a speaker, we are generally asked this question, Shraddha, I guess, that many a times people come to me and say, you share your knowledge. So again, resonating both the points, whatever is there in my, in my destiny, nobody can take that. And whatever is not there in my destiny, nobody can give me that. I always feel so. So then why to hide? Knowledge is a treasure which increases. If I am sharing one point to her, I'm able to listen her viewpoint also. So why we should hesitate? She rightly mentioned it's a refilling process. We being speakers, I discuss so many things with so many people openly, and this is the process. It never decreases, trust me. Nobody is going to take your client, nobody is going to take it away from you. You have your own destiny, the person has its own. She has her own field of expertise, and even we both can sell a same product at different prices just by our skills. So nobody is going to take your skills away. So share and share to the extent you can. We as speakers sometimes fulfill those responsibilities and also take it from our co-speakers too. And to that answer to your question of the previous one which you asked about uh, the AI tools which the somebody asked for, I think so. She's absolutely right. Nothing comes free in this world. They are, or you are also an opportunity for that company if they are giving you something. ICI's tool is not a free one. You are a member. You are getting that something in return after due research. So I also use that version of ChatGPT everywhere, wherever I refer. Made for drafting, DT, IDT, both the versions. Likewise, pay for it. It's an opportunity. Trust me. Today, we invest in our employees. I do not hesitate building a team. This team will take me. You cannot do everything on your own too. So you also, Sapna, are playing as a member of a team. You're sitting here. You're being guided by the chairperson, the vice. They have delegated something. Learn the power of delegation. Learn the power of acceptance. And that is the key. When we do not delegate, neither you rise to your next level nor the other person gains the experience. So learn to delegate, learn to rise, and accordingly manage your work. Everybody has learned after coming to this earth only. Nothing is being learned from mother's womb. So give your efforts best. That is the only key to success.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. That is really a very valuable perspective. And especially in the technology driven environment, though AI is there, though we are making AI as a servant, but yes, again, delegation is really very important to grow basically. So, yes, and ma'am, with this last question, I think we'll take some questions if any audience have posted. But last question from the panel. From your experience in litigation and representation, what approach should practitioners adopt while dealing with departmental matters under GST?
See, litigation, as I told you, it's a combination of skill set, strategy, and advocacy. Correct. Having skills but without strategy is not going to be any meaningful. Having strategy and skill, but you are not able to effectively, showcase your advocacy, then that is also not meaningful. It has to be a combination of all the three. So the approach is dual. As I already told you, litigation is a good area of practice for us, but litigation is not the good business for the clients. For them, they want to focus on the business. They are not into the business of litigation. For them, they want to just come out of the litigation. Correct. So, the primary objective of the litigation is not to litigate, but to come out of the litigation. It's more like, you're the doctor. Correct. You're the doctor who's running the hospital. You may be initially be happy with the patient coming into your hospital, but you can continue to get patients only if the patients are going to get discharged. Correct. Unfortunately, no, nobody likes to go to the hospital. None of us like to go to the hospital, right? Unless we have a problem. So litigation has that, inherent, I would not call it as a challenge, but having said that, ultimately, if at all you're going to have a tax issue, you cannot say that, no, I want I mean, wish there is a world without hospital. But hospitals are required. Correct. So you are doing a good job. It doesn't mean you're doing a bad job. You're doing a good job by handling litigation. But we need to have this fair sense of responsibility that my objective of litigation is to get the dispute resolved in the best perspective of the law, not in the best interest of the client alone. It's not that your client will do anything the way they want and then you somehow have to protect them doing something out of the way. That's not the way to handle it. Let's work on litigation within the legal frame, not based on, forget about the morality of the client. All these things comes behind. Ultimately, you have to see to it that whatever that has happened, is it in alignment with the law? Yes, no. Do I have a strategy to handle this or not? Apply your skill set and try to handle it with the right amount of advocacy. And you should know it's not a question of knowing what. You may be knowing the entire law, that's not the point. But you should know when, when to give what detail, when to speak, and when not to speak. Too much of information at an early stage when there is not even a show cause notice, it's going to end up in a situation where all these data is going to be relayed upon document for the department. You should know when to remain silent. You should not lead the department to give you a better show cause notice so that you are in a better trap. Litigation is all about strategy. Correct. It's not about just knowing the law. You should also know when to give what details, when not to give certain details. It's a
So
fair
I
balance of all.
always perceive litigation as an art.
Absolutely.
So you read the legal provisions, but apply it the way, hit the hammer when it is hot. Give the point at the correct point of time when it is required. Whenever I deliberate on GST matters, I say to raise the objections. But sometimes, considering that raising this objection at this stage can ruin my case. Sometimes you feel bringing the negative first to the officer that this is the negative, but it is not hampering my case or it is not affecting my case. This is against judgment. You sometimes need to plan accordingly. So it's an art. You need to check the situation and you need to stick to the law. Very rightly, Shada mentioned that yes, I take GST officers session many a times. And they ask me, people say me, अच्छा उनको ज़्यादा law मत पढ़ा देना. So I say, everybody has a right on the law. We do not want officers who should be pro revenue or pro taxpayer. No, we want an officer who is just on law. Justice should be delivered legally, may it be in the favor of the taxpayer, may it be in the favor of the revenue, but it should be just. So this is how we perceive litigation. It's an art. There are no set rules to it. Draft your own and experience what matters the most. The more you appear, the more you hear the other counsels, the more you hear the arguments. That is why you see many times the people sitting at the back and hearing to the arguments. When she, madam, quoted about that judgment of safari, it's not about the destination. It's about the journey which you are traveling when you are reading. So this is what is the basic crux of litigation. Evolve, and learn and get the experience that matters. Stick to the legal points. Stay just to your case, whatever you are handling.
I totally agree, especially the point which you mentioned about, training the officers. It's very important. I mean, one side we hear people saying, Madam, why you want to train the officers so that they get better? No, that's not the point. If you
Yes.
don't train the officers, what is going to happen? In fact, that's going to be against you. Without having
Chaos,
adequate
chaos
training,
indeed.
whatever action that they are going to take is all going to be harmful for you. What do you achieve by
Yes.
not training the other person? In fact, I think ICA is also having a lot of very good programs for training the officers. See,
Yes.
let's say, even let's say, we are considering them as villains. Okay. How do you become a super duper hero unless you have a good villain in front of you? You need to have that,
True,
right?
ma'am.
Certainly. You also talked about ASG, that he gives very good arguments. And when you win that case where the opposite arguments are strong, you enjoy that victory actually.
True.
If you are running alone in the race and you say, I am the winner, that victory does not matter.
True, true. At the end, we are all, running for the same one line, which is justice, right? Just that there are two different sides of a coin. What we perceive as justice, what is perceived from their perspective as justice, they are, after all, department servants. They are not going to have, the revenue is only going to belong to the government, right? We are all working together with the same platform, which is the law. There are a lot of very good officers who are really open-ended. They tell them, they tell us, Madam, you are all good at when it comes to the knowing the law. Please help me out. Please guide me on how I need to look into it, right? So there are good people who are also seeking for support from professionals. So there is nothing wrong in supporting them. But having said that, let's understand fundamentally their loyalty is towards the government revenue. That is something that you cannot change. But having said that, by having a good relationship, by helping them also to know the law better, you're not doing any harm for your clients. In fact, you're doing something good for your clients because their lack of knowledge is actually going to, disturb the client's business like anything. But if they are very clear about their power, if they are very clear about what they should not do, they will also know what they are supposed to do and not beyond that.
Yes, ma'am. Right, ma'am. Achal, ma'am, would you like to add something?
Oh, nothing on this. I just want to end it on a note for everyone, maybe the new, maybe the old, maybe the male, maybe the female, whosoever is, every day, every day you search yourself. Every day तू खुद की खोज में निकल, तू किस लिए उदास है, तू चल तेरे वजूद की समय को भी तलाश है. So every day explore a newer, a finer version of yourself. So with this, I risk all my arguments here on this platform, and thank you for making me part of it.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
I also end with the
Shasta.
same note. I think there is no more, we are not in an era of competition. If at all there is a competition, it's to compete within yourself. Are you getting 1% better than who you are yesterday? That's more than sufficient. Then you're already, on the lead. You don't need to benchmark. But if at all you want to benchmark, look at people above you as a source of inspiration, not to feel yourself any less. And if you think you are better than so many people who are, below you, I think that way we need to also give them so that they are also going to be better and they are also going to be, at par with you. So, I mean, we call it in Tamil, we say this, unakum kide ullavar kodi. So it's like, there are a lot of people who are much lower than you. So whenever you think you have achieved something really high, look at them. Then you know what kind of struggle that they are going through. Correct. So it's a fine balance. You have to travel in a world where you are feeling very confident because of your own zone. And you need to always believe in one thing, that if I think today I'm an expert in GST, there are much more experts than me, right? So I'm nowhere close to expert. We are all in the learning journey. If people who have expertised in this field for last 30, 40 years, it is not because of simply their experience over this 30, 40 years. It's because even today they are learning what is happening today. So if they are learning today, why not me? I'm also supposed to learn something today. So people who have traveled the journey much ahead of me, they are the source of inspiration. If the people are traveling along with me or behind me, I think somewhere we need to support them as well in this journey. So it's all about end of the day, as Anshul rightly pointed out, have I become better person as compared to yesterday? That's the real benchmark. My benchmark is only against me, not with anybody else.
Yes. Thank you, ma'am.
I think we need to
Uh,
stick to the ethics. That's one last thing which I wanted to leave it here.
yes, ma'am.
See, as we talk about this competition, market, etc., as chartered accountants, we need to stick to the ethics, because that's the only way in which we all can, thrive together. And coming together is another important mindset that, see, unfortunately with CAs, I'm sure, Institute is also working towards it. They are coming up with this Indian Big Four and the merger process, etc., etc. So I think what is really essential is it's not about having too many small hills. If the objective is to create or grab great opportunities, it's very important to form a mountain. And to form a mountain, we should have the mindset of coming together. Right? It's not about, I should always not be looking at whether, as Sharada, what is my seat, whether I'm sticking to my seat. I should be probably giving better opportunities for the people in my team. I should be happy if they are going to grow above me. I should never be, thinking that I am the benchmark and everybody else should be behind me. That's not what is required. We have to leave people to grow according to their own, their own efforts and their own risk appetite or their own appetite for growth. I'll put it that way. Okay. So, and we need to form a group of people who are comfortable in sharing the knowledge, who are ready to work together. Because to work on, high level issues or critical matters, what is important is there should be a set of or a pool of talent. How do we create the pool of talent? It's only when we give the opportunity for each and everyone in that pool, right? So I think that's one thing that I wanted to convey for all those who are having parallel mindset or similar mindset. Please feel free to come together. That is very important. Don't look at what is in the banner, whether my name is there in the banner or not. At the end, it's not the name, it's only the skills that matters. So with that note, I want to, give my concluding remarks. It's all about, are we making ourselves better? Are we continuously on the giving side? So that the more we are in the giving side, we will be gaining it better. And are we having the mindset to come together to create a better tomorrow? These are the things that as professionals we need to know if at all we are looking at, growth in terms of the opportunities.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Sharda ma'am. Thank you, Achal ma'am. It was really enlightening to hear you. Really inspiring. You both have motivated us, all of us. And thank you so much, both of you, for sharing such invaluable insights and experiences, your real life experiences with all of us today. Today's discussion has truly highlighted the vast opportunities that GST offers to the professional and the importance of continuous learning and perseverance. I think my teacher also used to say that whenever in my earlier when I became a chartered accountant, whenever I used to ask something, sir, ये कर लूँ क्या? तो sir used to always used to say कि सपना go for it. So the same thing you both of you also enlightened today, that when we get an opportunity, we should just go for it. So that go for it is that push which pushes maybe many of us to go further and take these opportunities. Before we conclude, I would like to share a thought by Ravindranath Tagore. He has said, "You cannot cross the sea merely by standing and staring at the water. Progress requires courage, learning, and action, and today's discussion has certainly inspired all of us. We see that in both of you, actually. So, with this we come to the close of session, and as we come to this close of insightful session, it is my privilege to vote to propose the vote of thanks. First and foremost, I would like to
And
express.
before this, Sapna, I must tell you that you have done a wonderful job. You
Yeah,
made
this is
both
what
of us
I
feel
was
really
about to say too.
comfortable. We didn't
Thank
even
you
have
so
any
much, ma'am.
opportunity to discuss before having this session, right? I mean, not even a call that we were able to have it. But seriously, you made us feel really comfortable, and you are giving us the right set of questions with right amount of space that we would require for express ourselves. And Anshul, is has always been a very good friend of mine and a person whom I admire a lot. For the kind of aggressiveness, for the kind of talent that she always showcases. I have silently heard many of her YouTube videos as well. So I think you are a big source of inspiration for me as well, Anchal. So thank you so much for sharing this panel with me. Thanks to both of you, wonderful ladies.
Thank
The
you so
same, the
much.
feeling is mutual, I guess, Shraddha. Indeed. And Sapna, we will indeed be failing in our duty if we do not appreciate you. And of course, the back-end team, I could see Impri, Jaya, and Sanket all there. So it's again, we prove that it's always a team effort that counts. And it's the team. And Shraddha, as you know, I still remember our first talk when you called me to ask something with a hesitation whether I will answer that or not. And that thing became a bond between us, although we talk very less or hardly, but yes, the connect still stays. Thank you so much for making me part of this panel.
Thank you so much, both of you, ma'am. It is really I think these words from you have made my day. So yes,
You deserve it, you earned that actually.
thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank
As we come to the close, I would just propose a vote of thanks. First and foremost, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to our esteemed panelists, CA Achal Kapoor ma'am, CA Sharda ma'am, for sharing their valuable insights, experiences, and practical guidance with all of us today. Your journeys, professional expertise, and thoughtful perspectives have truly enriched this discussion and inspired many professionals who have joined way from whole country who aspire to build a strong practice in GST. On this occasion of upcoming International Women's Day, it was especially meaningful to hear from both of you, the two accomplished women leaders who are contributing significantly to the profession. Really proud of both of you, ma'am. Our profession is basically proud of both of you. I would also like to extend a heartfelt thanks to CA Umesh Sharma sir, our chairman, and CA Rajendra Kumar P sir, our vice chairman of GST and Indirect Taxes Committee, for their support, guidance in organizing this program. I would like to acknowledge the efforts of the entire organizing team, Sanket sir, Jaya ma'am, Impreet ma'am. Their dedication has made this webinar possible basically, and most importantly we thank all the participants who joined us today, contributed their questions as well, and made this session interactive and meaningful. With this inspiring thought, we conclude today's webinar. Thank you all for joining us, and we wish you a wonderful evening ahead, and see you in next such other program. Thank you.
thank
Thank
you.
you so much. Thank you all.
Thank you. As we say, a woman places where she chooses to be, and our speakers have chosen to stand as a GST luminaries, and they have been able to stand just because of their knowledge. We learned knowledge is a destination, but study is the vehicle that gets you there. And I also would like to thank to the moderator, who is from the same field, GST, and she's really equipped with the talent to unveil the secrets of the great learners and the true strategies behind our speaker's success and achievement. Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much.
Impreet,
Thank you,
for your
ma'am.
kind words, and thanks to the entire team who missed their party. Now you can just run and enjoy that.
Sanket, we can sign off for the day.
Yes, yes. Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, both of you.
Thank you.